Someone asked, how is reality discovered? And I have many videos, such as guided meditations, that actually explore this and can lead one to discovering the one reality. But let me answer it a different way, kind of where the question was coming from, which was kind of like a how, like what's the process? How does one discover reality? So as much as those guided meditations and some of the other videos are more guiding, taking you to reality, you could say, let's kind of talk about this more conceptually, which isn't really going to help, but might be some mental candy for you. So let's just say that there's our experience of life, and what we have as the experience is what we experience as objects, separate objects, right? We got like this plant here, we got the computer, we've got this microphone, there's some walls, right? There's this body. So those are separate objects. There's thoughts, the experience of thoughts. There's the experience of the body. There's the experience of the senses, perception. I mean, that's our experience. So how does one discover reality? It's as if you remove them one by one, and what's left is reality. You're kind of asking, well, what is all that stuff made of? What are thoughts made of? What's the body made of? What are these objects made of? What are the sense perceptions made of? They'd be made of the one reality. But how we're experiencing life right now, through the filter of the mind, it distorts reality. And it creates this experience of separate objects with their separate realities, that this computer is a separate object with its own separate existence. And then that plant has its own separate existence. And this microphone has its own separate existence. And then this body has its own separate existence. So it sees everything as separate and having its own separate reality. So it sees everything as having its own separate existence, its own separate reality. But when it's removed one by one, you could say, then what are you left with? You're not left with anything that could be divided. You're not even left with something that's a form. You see that plant is a form, this microphone is a form, the computer is a form, this body is a form. But when all those objects seemingly disappear or are removed, then what's left is actually formless. And see how you can't have any division with that which is formless. You can only create division with seemingly forms. We can say that this computer is not that plant, and it's not this microphone, and it's not this body. So there appears to be some sort of division, this separation. That's the computer, this is the body. It's separate from the body. That's a form, this is a different form, that's a different form, and that's another form. So there's this diversity and multiplicity of form. But we're asking, well, what are these forms made of? What's the essence of the form? And when we go deeper and we try and search for what is this form made of, it's not that we find another form. We find that which is formless. And that which is formless is undivided. You can't divide that which is formless. We find not something, we find no thing. And no thing cannot be separated, cannot be divided. So we see that all these forms must share this one formless nature, essence. And this is discovered by, you could say, looking at these experiences, the experience of name and form, and seeing how when they are actually removed, what remains. And that which remains must be reality. It's reality because it cannot be removed. We're seeing how the forms are actually temporary appearances that can be removed, in a sense. But the one reality that we discover, that cannot be removed, and that is permanent, ever present, never absent. We see that the forms can be absent. We see that the forms are coming and going, appearing and disappearing, changing. But that which all of the forms are made of, we discover that that is actually changeless. That which all the forms that are coming and going, appearing and disappearing, we discover that that formless essence is ever present. It's not coming and going. It's not appearing and disappearing. It's always present. So on the level of appearances, name and form, that's a plant. That's the form of a plant. This is a microphone. That's the form of a microphone. That's a computer. That's the form of a computer. This is a body. This is the form of a body. Name and form on that superficial, on the surface, we see diversity and multiplicity. But at the core, we discover the one reality. That all of these forms share. That all these forms are made of. That at the core of all forms, they're actually the exact same. The multiplicity, the diversity is an expression of the one reality. So, in this exploration, Is it really someone going on an exploration and going to reality? I've discovered reality. Here it is. It's right here. And here I am. It wouldn't be like that, because that would be division. That would be separation. So the nature of reality, the one reality, is discovered by realizing that you are it. You are it. And when that is realized, then you realize that all these names and forms, all of these appearances, all of these objects are made of you. That all of these objects are an appearance that is made of you, the one reality. That you do not come and go like the objects. You do not appear and disappear like the objects. You are ever present. That you are giving reality to everything that you experience. That you are the reality of experience. That without you, there would be no experience. So you realize what everything is made of. Everything is made of the one formless essence that you are. And you see yourself as that formless essence in all forms. The essence radiates from each form. And it's as if you're seeing past the appearance of form and seeing the formless. You're seeing yourself in everything. And all forms are actually within you. That there's no separation. That the formless is in all forms and the forms are in the formless. That you are in everything and everything is in you. There's no separation. So, I'm giving you a different answer, more of a conceptual walking you through the process of how that realization is made in the sense of it's like a removal process, that you're removing the objects. You're exploring, what are these objects made of? If you want to know reality, meaning if you want to know what this is all made of, then we start right here with our experience. And we go deep into this experience. And we, in a way, remove that which is removable until we get to the point where we can no longer remove. And you realize that it's you that cannot be removed. Everything else, that which you got mixed up with, that which you took yourself to be, is actually, it's like removable. In other words, it's non-essential. We remove what's non-essential. And what's left when we remove everything that's non-essential is what is essential. The essence of everything. And to know the essence of everything is to be the essence of everything. That the knowing is being, and being is knowing. And the two are inseparable. So the realization is made because it's self-evident. That it's aware of itself. So you realize that you are reality. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.